the roll.
Yes, I will. And I will add one new thing for you all, if you would please, when I call your name, could you then signify who you are on the screen for everybody? And then say just that you are, what city and county you are in. It's kind of obvious, I know, but we are doing that to satisfy some requirements. And I think that would take care of it. So, Casey.
Here, this is Casey Kefgen from East Lansing in Ingham County.
Irene.
Irene Cahill, East Lansing, Ingham County.
Thank you. Jennifer. Oh, Jennifer, we can't. Jennifer, we don't hear you. Let me see, is there something?
I asked for her to unmute herself.
Okay, Jennifer, can you hear us? Jennifer will come back maybe here in just a minute. I'm gonna go to Carrie.
Here, this is Carrie Freeman. I'm in the city of East Lansing in Clinton County.
Thank you. And Larry.
Hi, I'm Larry Rosen, city of East Lansing, Ingham County.
Thank you. Jennifer, if you're using your phone, sometimes *6 will do the unmute. I was trying to see if I could do it.
Sometimes I've had to call in.
Miss Irene, I called in first to see if I could connect and it didn't work. So then I got on my iPad mini. So I don't know if Jennifer can hear us. She should get off the phone. Try again, I guess. I don't really know what to say.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. How are you doing, Dana?
Good, doing good. I got outside and jump rope today, so.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah.
Fun. Yeah, Jennifer, I wish I knew what to do to help. Yes, maybe other than leaving us and coming back in. And I'm going to, assuming you can at least listen, and I'm going to say that we have everyone present, and I guess we will go ahead, Chair, to the approval of the agenda.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. This is Larry.
Or
And I got a second from Irene. All those
Someone
in
else.
favor of approving the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. All right, the agenda is approved. Now it's time for the nomination and the election of the chair. We're going to hand that off to Annette for that. And I guess please know that I've, the point of personal privilege, I've been the chair for at least a year, maybe a year and a half now since Davia left. Loved it, had a good time running the meetings. But if anybody else wants to take a turn, no hard feelings from me. If you don't, and you want me to continue to do it, that's cool too. So yeah. All right, Annette, please.
Yes, so before I do this, I was gonna try one more thing here.
Annette, I sent Jennifer a chat, direct message, and she says, "Hi, I'm here." So it sounds like she can hear us.
Yes, and she said she's in by phone. So I was going to ask, I've just allowed caller and—
Can you hear me?
There you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Ugh, I blame me.
I think
Welcome,
we've all
Jennifer.
been there. One way or in one meeting or another, don't worry.
Jennifer, is your phone ending in 620?
Yes, and I'm
Got it.
having computer problems, so I called in.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I can see you guys. I can see you.
Oh, good.
Good and excellent.
Yeah.
We're happy we can hear you. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. So at this point, and I'm sorry, I believe, Casey, you had told me that you are ready for me to ask for a nomination of a chair. Am I correct?
Yes, please.
Well, can I just say that I'm Jennifer Ferguson from the city of East Lansing in Ingham County?
Yes. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
All right. You're welcome.
Okay. Do I hear any nominations from the floor for chairperson of the Housing Commission?
Yes. I'd like to nominate Irene Cahill.
I second.
Well, thank you, but I'd like to run for vice chair.
That was me. I wanted to run for vice chair too.
Oh,
Well, sorry about that. I thought you had bigger ambitions right now.
I do, but I think Casey's doing a good job. So thank you. I appreciate that.
So I'm gonna just take a moment here. Larry nominated Irene. Irene then, and it was seconded by Jennifer. Irene, are you declining the nomination at this point?
Yes, but Jennifer, I'm sorry. I guess we're going to be in competition.
Well, you would have made such a good chair, Irene.
She's
Well,
trying to
thank you,
talk you
but
into it, Irene.
Well, no. Well, thank you. No, let's leave Casey
All
there
right.
now. And if Casey wants to step down, then I'll step in and someone else. If I don't get elected as vice chair, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I am going to ask for, again, for if there's any nominations for chair of the Housing Commission.
I'll nominate Casey. I think she's been doing a great job. This is Carrie.
I'll second.
So I have Carrie nominated Casey to continue, and I heard at least 2 seconds. I know one was Irene and there was another one here.
Jennifer.
Jennifer. We need one. One will do us, but thank you. I wanted to make note of who. So we do have Casey nominated as chair. Are there any other nominations for chair at this time? I will ask again, are there any other nominations for chair at this time? I will ask for the last time. Are there any other nominations for chair of the Housing Commission? At this point, I would like to close the nominations for chair. And I will ask for a vote for election of Chairperson of the Housing Commission, Kefgen. I think I will go through a quick roll call, and if you would say A or yes or no when I call upon you. Casey?
Aye.
Irene?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
And Larry?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Everyone voted in favor. Casey, congratulations. You are chair for another year.
Thank you.
I am happy to turn the meeting back over to you at this point.
All right, thank you, Annette. All right, with item 1.3 finished, we'll move on to the nomination and election of vice chair. Do I hear a nomination for vice chair?
This is Larry. I'll nominate Irene again for vice chair.
All right, I hear a nomination for Irene. Is there a second?
I'll say second. Can I do that?
Yes, you can.
Here. Okay.
Irene seconded, so there's a nomination for a vice chair for Irene. Now, a question for you, Annette. The way I've done it in the past, and this, I don't know what the code says for guidance for us, is that we vote on the first person to be nominated, and then if that person gets the majority, then that person is elected to the position. But the way you did for the chairperson, though, was to take all the nominations. So I don't know. Can you guide me there about which procedure is that? Yeah. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I guess I had followed what we've done in the past. I suppose if we have a Robert's Rules specialist here, I'm open for that. I know in the past we had taken and if there were any other nominations.
Okay.
I do see how that might pose a problem when we go to do the election.
Last night, HRC voted and they had 2 people. And so each person was allowed to say which person they were picking.
Okay. All right. Well,
okay.
Then what we're thinking of then will follow, that follows in line then what another commission did. So that is helpful. Thank you very much, Dana.
No problem.
All right. Do we hear any other nominations?
I nominate myself, Jennifer.
And I'll second Jennifer. She's been on the, well, I'll save my editorial comments. I'll second.
We'll take just a tad brief timeout, and I will just to go over where we're at. We have currently, it looks like 2 people nominated, both with seconds for vice chair. Reed has been nominated and Jennifer has been nominated for vice chairperson of the Housing Commission.
All right, do we have any other nominations?
Oh.
All right. So point of clarification for you, Annette. Should we just do a roll call vote and each person says the name of the person that they choose?
Yes, we could do that. The one thing that I would add perhaps before we actually do the vote, and especially since we have two people, if we wanted to give each of them an opportunity to maybe say why they're interested, and that may help other commissioners in their decision making.
Okay, sounds good.
Great.
All right, so let's open it up for Irene. You want to say a few words about why you'd like the vice chair gig?
Well, I haven't, since I've joined the commission. I'm interested in housing. I think really good place to live, and I don't know, I'm just always really interested. I wasn't ready to make a speech, but okay, let's do it. I mean, I became the vice chair for one meeting and now it's an election. I kind of forgot about the election coming up. So, but it doesn't really matter. Way, I don't mind just being a member. So if I don't win, that's okay. Thank you very much.
I love living in East Lansing. I love being a part of the committee. I have been so for many years, and I think what we do is worthwhile. And, you know, I do think there's room to grow as well. And I like having people stay in their homes. That's very important. And I like to problem solve. So that's my speech.
Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you, Irene. Anybody else have anything else to say before we do a roll call vote? Any discussion? All right, I would say, Annette, if you want to take the roll call vote,
yes.
The roll for a vote.
Yes, I will. Casey?
I'd like to vote for Jennifer Ferguson.
Irene?
I'd like to vote for myself.
Jennifer?
I'd like to vote for myself.
Carrie?
I'd like to say that I think Irene and Jennifer add something very special to this commission, and they're both very valuable. Jennifer, you've been here for a long time, and I'd like to extend my vote to you.
Thank you.
And Larry?
Well, since I nominated Irene, I will vote for Irene, and nothing personal, but
right.
I understand.
Okay, by a roll call vote, I would say we extend congratulations to Jennifer as the upcoming, or the current now, vice chair of the Housing Commission for 2021.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And Irene, thank you. And you're a worthy candidate.
Yes, you too. Very good. No hard feelings. Don't worry. I'm not like Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Let's go out for drinks soon, okay? Once we can. Yeah. So
okay.
I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. That was a tough VP race there, but or vice chair race there, but I think we've got some good talent in the pipeline, and maybe I can twist your arms. Well, somebody else will have to be chair next year, because I'm off the Housing Commission. So after I'll be termed out. So, all right. So we'll move on to item 1.5, minutes of the October 15th, 2020 meeting. Are there any amendments that we need to make to those minutes? All right, hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of October 15th, 2020?
Marina, motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All right, so I have a motion from Irene and a second from Larry to approve the minutes. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, please say nay. All right, the minutes from October 15th, 2020 are approved. All right, we'll move on to item number 2, commissioner announcements and concerns. I have lots of concerns, but none that are particularly housing commission related. So I'll punt on that one. Anybody else have housing commission concerns?
I just have a comment. When I was going back through the minutes, it reminded me about that presentation we had the last time about the housing study. And that was, I was very impressed because I've done a lot of research over the course of my career, but I was not familiar with how they were doing this study. So I thought it sounded very, very reasonable, and it was very interesting. So I just want to thank Annette and the city for pursuing this and making it available to us in that form. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I agree.
All right, any other commissioner announcements or concerns?
Ms. Irene, I was just wondering, you know, with the impact of MSU going to requiring the sophomores to stay on campus, is there be any way for the city to possibly do like a housing study, or like, you know, just maybe a block by block look at how many homes are going to be vacant without rentals in them? And if there's any way the city can do something to help us get that become, you know, permanent housing stock versus, you know, like private owners occupying them. So it's just a long term. It's not an immediate concern. But I think later this year it's going to come to a head, because there's a lot of vacancies in my neighborhood right now over Virginia Avenue and Spartan.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but do you think it's because of just the lack of students, you know,
yes,
on campus to begin with, or because we don't know if it's anything else but that at the moment? I think
it's the students don't have in-class classes and they've just gone home, and so they could save money on rent. You know, they aren't renewing leases behind me. So thank you.
All right, anybody else? All right, we'll move on to item number 3, communications from citizens. Annette, anything about general items?
Nothing general. I do have an email that just recently came in, and I was going to just share it on the screen regarding the upcoming public hearing, and I can do that at that time. I had kind of thought if I did a last minute email, you might not all see it, and it is a very short email, so I will be able to show it during my presentation, and you will certainly have ample time to read it and digest it. So I can do that at that time.
Okay. And we don't have any public participants like live right now, do we? That need to have the opportunity to speak?
The only attendee I believe we have currently is our applicant, and she is, she, I'm not sure who's on the phone, but is muted right at this point in time. And I will let the applicant know that we will be calling upon her during the public hearing to be able to answer any questions of the commission. And that is the only attendee that I see in our system here.
Okay, all right. All right, well, with no further communications from folks generally, let's move on to item number 4, the public hearing. We've got a public hearing for an initial rental license at 557 Bainbridge for a class 3 rental license, allowing up to 2 unrelated persons or family to occupy the unit. Do we have a staff report, Annette?
Yes, we do. And I can, I don't know if, well, what I can do also is share the staff report as I quickly kind of go through that for you all. Okay. So you do have a packet of information for this application, but this is for a Class 3 rental license that will allow for up to 2 unrelated persons or a family. It's condominium unit, 3-bedroom. There is a 1-car detached garage and a surface parking lot in the area. If anyone has additional parking questions, I think would best to address those to the owner for any additional parkings and how that works in that particular condominium location. It's known as Hickory Hills condominiums, and the documents that we require in meeting our policy resolution are attached. Those are the items such as approval letter from the condominium board, a copy of the bylaws that do show the rental rules, and a copy of their bylaws were provided to us by the owner. The owner is Wan Song, and I will apologize if I have pronounced it improperly, in Okemos, so here nearby. And the owner purchased this particular unit in 2016. It is in a RM32 zoning district. It would not be in a rental restriction overlay, so it allows the owner to apply for a rental license. The unit has been inspected, re-inspected, and was found to be code compliant following the re-inspection. We did have a complaint of renting without a license at this particular unit, and our investigator did investigate, filed a report with the city attorney, and did receive authorization to issue some citations for that. That does not negate the owner, of course, from being able to apply for the rental license, and applying for the rental license is actually a way of them following, of course, the law accordingly. My understanding is that the unit's vacant at this particular time. Reviewing all of our requirements of the code and any information that this office has received up to this point, we would be making a recommendation for the commission to consider the issuance of a conditional Class 3 rental license that would allow 2 unrelated persons or a family to reside there. And I am open if anyone has questions. Oh, I do want to show on my screen. And I bet I need to stop for a minute. Perhaps. And this is the email that I did recently receive from a neighbor, Teresa, writing to state, I'll read clearly, you all can, but I'll say it out loud in case anyone's having trouble seeing the screen. I am writing to state my disagreement with allowing rentals in this condo association. I believe it brings the property values down. Renters do not have the same amount of investment in the property, and I believe don't have the same motivation to keep up the property. There are plenty of rentals in East Lansing. I bought into this association because I wanted to be part of a group owning and keeping up our property. I would definitely vote no on this situation. I did reply back to Teresa and thanked her for her email and let her know that I would certainly be sharing this correspondence with the commissioners at the public hearing this evening.
Can I ask a question? This is
Yes.
Jennifer.
Yes.
Are there any rentals in this property? Do we have any rentals now?
Hickory,
and if
yes.
so, how many?
You know, I did not look up to see how many are in Hickory Hills at this particular time, but I do know there's already a handful of
Okay.
rental units in the complex itself.
In the
Thank you. And is this okay? Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Larry.
Go ahead.
Did you explain that to Teresa in your response?
No, I simply just told her I would share it with you all for your consideration as you reviewed the application.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Yes.
I was going to say that in the, it's either in the master deed or in the owner's manual, there is a limit of 15% of the units in that association, and there are 96 units, so we can do the arithmetic, but the limit to rentals is 15%. So the question I had, and obviously we can't answer that, is what percentage of those units currently are rentals, and should it exceed 15%, then it would be the condominium association's responsibility to inform us that would violate their rules, not obviously not our rules. But on the other hand, they're very explicit in saying that any rentals in that association must have a City of East Lansing license. So that's my 2 cents. I don't really have an answer to all of that, though.
But how is that handled, Annette, when you do in the past have reached your limit of like 15%, 10%, regardless, yes, depending on the development?
Yep. So that is one of the reasons why we have the policy resolution in place, where we ask applicants to contact their condominium association and go to them and be sure that they review their, that they're going to be applying for license or desire to rent their particular unit, and that is reviewed by the board. And that would be a part then of the approval letter from the condominium board. So, and in this particular case, Diane felt all of the officers are named and the treasurer signed their correspondence that they had reviewed the request and approved it.
But what has happened in the past, or what's worst case scenario if the board rejects? Not the board rejects it. It never makes it to us then, right? Like it's, or how?
Right. I would, in most cases, I would say it probably wouldn't make it to us, right? The board would have sent correspondence directly to the applicant explaining, please review page such and such of your bylaws. At this point in time, we have reached our, level of what we'll allow in this particular project, or however they word that. I would say in years past, there's probably been a couple of applicants that have still attempted to come before the commission. And I think maybe, and I don't remember who or when, because it was a long time ago. In my mind, I'm thinking we had one, and the commission had to inform them that there was just no grounds for the commission to take action. And I think it went to council, as I recall, but they weren't able to pursue that rental license in that particular case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Annette about this application? All right, hearing none. I wonder if we want to open it to the applicant. If they'd like to say a few words, they may. They don't have to.
Yes, I am going to at this point. It's number ending, if you are out there, number ending in 636. I have unmuted you and you will be able to talk to the commission. Numbers ending in 636, you should now be able to speak with the commission.
Good afternoon. Am I allowed to talk?
You are, yes, thank you. You are.
Oh,
commissioners
okay.
know we
Well,
have the applicant here. Yes.
Yes, thank you. It was really nice to hear your discussions tonight. And each of those discussion points were really good, analytical, is applicable. And I wish I had known some of this the situation is this. I think Annette or somebody already reported. I have been a resident in Okemos for the last 30-something years. When my adult daughter returned to town from Colorado, and then it was hard to live together, and we decided, well, she needs to find another place. We rushed, found that particular condominium in 2016 July. And then it was there. And then 2019, in August, she decided to leave the place. I did not think about that particular scenario, but at the time of the purchase, that condominium, I did ask all the relevant people, including the realtors, if something happened, what option do I have? And the renting was one of the options. I don't like to rent any places because I heard it's kind of a headache, and I don't want to deal with those kind of things. But when the condominium was open in August 2019, and I kind of fixed everything up, and it was very costly. And costly in 2016, at the time when I purchased, and invested more than the $15,000 at the time. And then again, this time, 2019. Once everything is fixed, I thought, what am I going to do with this property? And then around that time was not right for me to put it on the market. I think there's a few reasons. And then I kind of let it sit there for a while. And at the end of 2019, after 7 months, I asked my daughter, what can I do? Would it be my plan or your plan? And she said, let's rent it until some other decision. So she advertised. We found a person to come in and moved in April. And then we thought, my gosh, I do not like this position, but let go. And when hit June 2020, around that time, COVID hit. And the tenants' children wanted to use a pool, swimming pool, which is really at the site. And then they needed a fob. And asking me, do you have a fob? I said, what is a fob? And then we decided to go to HOA to request a fob. At that time, we knew, and they knew, this is the tenant. And then someone asked, okay, did you get a license for renting? I said, what license in renting? I had many colleagues who lived in East Lansing, but renting has never been in our conversation because none of them have. So what license? And then HOA said, oh, this HOA guidelines, housing guidelines, all of that. Well, that was the first time I have ever seen. I said, wow, what should I do right now? And I was panicked. I don't like to be in that kind of position. So immediately I started processing. But because of COVID, everything was so slow. On my part, drawing the map and all of that, I provided all of the data that was requested, and I was rejected. It has the hand-drawn picture, not the real estate information about the dimension of the rooms, location of the room. That's inappropriate. Then I had to go back, and then I didn't want to encounter people during this COVID. So it took a little while, but I did as fast as I could, and I submitted all the documents to East Lansing City. And then the whole thing was kind of slow process. I think I submitted pretty much early in the summer. And then I think this hearing was scheduled sometime in December. It was postponed again and in January. So I'm glad I had this opportunity to let you know what happened. It was not my intention. I was unaware. It does not justify what happened, but that's where I am. Depends on the situation. I may rush, just get rid of it, or I may continue until our family situation is settled, at least until after COVID, means probably later 2021. So that's where I am. So if you would consider let me have the rental license, even though it is going to be only for 1 year, and I do not know how long it's going to go, that will help me, the flexibility in my action. That's all. I appreciate you taking my case.
Thank you, Ms. Song. And does any of the commissioners have any questions for Ms. Song?
I have a question for Annette that, of course, relates to this. What is the definition of conditional again? Like because this would be a conditional Class 2 rental license. So what's the opposite of that? Unconditional?
Yeah, well, we make the recommendation in most cases for a conditional rental license under the code. Really, all first year or beginning initial licenses are conditional, and the reason is, unless the commission were to say otherwise, or as staff we were to say we didn't feel it needed to be a conditional license for whatever reason, the standard conditions are such that it just allows this license to come back before the commission if there were to be some sort of issue. So, for example, I don't anticipate any of this, but I'm just using an example. Let's say there was a lot of illegal activity at this property and we had records from the police or PACE of ongoing issues. Then at the end of the conditional, rather than renewing it as a regular license at that time, it would bring it back before this commission. If there's nothing that happens and it's, you know, business as usual, so to speak, for lack of a better terminology, then at the end of the 12 months, because we renew it after 12 months, then it would be able to be renewed and the conditional part falls away and it's just a regular rental license.
Okay, because I was thinking too, because she didn't know what she was doing was illegal. That's what I was thinking. Like the reason why she was given the conditional is because of her actions, but obviously not. But right. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yes.
If I may say, I'm not sure whether this is relevant or not. The rent is really, really low. So my intention was not to make the resources in this case, and just delaying how my family situation will be settled. And then the person, the tenant, is extremely, is a researcher at the university and know the family and well disciplined and law-abiding people. And I invest for the property, and at the brink of eyes, if anything that needs to be done, I have been doing it. So I think that's all I can say.
Thank you. Any other questions for Ms. Song from commissioners? All right. Try to wait and pause for the proper Zoom time. Do we have, so Ms. Song, thank you so much. You can feel free to keep listening and we'll probably might have a little discussion amongst ourselves, but I appreciate you making yourself available to us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me. Bye.
Thank you. So is there any discussion that we want to have? Or I'd entertain a motion.
I have no problem with this. as Annette said, it's not an overlay district, so it's perfectly okay. And the condo, I live in a condo, so I'm a little familiar with how some of these things go. The condo association gave it their approval or their sign off. So, you know, I don't see any reason not to approve this, especially since. So, okay, I'll make the motion. Sure.
All right, so I've got a motion from Larry to approve, to make a recommendation for council to approve a initial rental license from 557 Bainbridge for a class 2 rental license. And a second, I think, by Jennifer, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion? I guess I'll recognize myself, Casey. You know, as we all know, we need, you know, our obligation is to make sure that when we review the applications that, you know, the only ways we can sort of choose not to recommend the initial rental license to be approved by council will be to point to, you know, one of the reasons outlined in the code. And while the other resident of Hickory Hill who emailed us certainly has some concerns about the amount of rental properties in Hickory Hill, you know, that's not one of the reasons we can point to as a commission to not recommend an initial rental license for this property. So, you know, I'd hope that if that person has some concerns that maybe they take that up with their HOA. I think that might be a possible avenue, but that's not a consideration that we can make. So for that reason, I would say this application, you know, personally for me, meets the requirements for approval. So, you know, my vote will be to recommend approval.
Isn't this a class 3 that we're recommending? I think we keep saying class 2.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a class 3.
3.
Okay.
Oh, I apologize. 3.
I think I keep seeing 2 unrelated people and I'm transposing. Sorry about that. So we have a motion on the floor from Larry, and I'll say it properly this time. How about that? For an initial rental license at 557 Bainbridge for a class 3 rental license allowing 2 unrelated people. And a second by Jennifer. All right, any further discussion on this item? Oh, and thanks for catching me, Carrie. All right, if not, should we do a roll call vote, Annette, since this is kind of a actual thing we're doing?
Yes, I believe that would be the best way to go. Thank you. Casey.
Aye.
Irene.
Aye.
Jennifer.
Aye.
Carrie.
Aye.
And Larry.
Aye.
Thank you. Everyone has voted in favor. That motion will pass.
Great, thank you, Annette. All right, let's move on to item 5. Any old business that we'd like to talk about?
I think Larry already talked about it.
Well, I'd like to just add a quick question. Forgive me, Annette, I haven't looked online. Refresh my memory, the materials or the study itself that was discussed at the last meeting, is that online someplace where I can go back and look at it when I have a chance?
I will double check that for you, Larry. I was thinking we had done that. If not, I will make sure that it's online, and actually I can forward any of that to you. I was thinking we had it, but I can do that again because with all the holidays and whatnot, I'll be happy to actually do
right. Yeah, and forgive me because I didn't do my own homework and look for it. So yep. I hope that doesn't make too much work for you.
Not at all, not in the least.
Can you send that to me as well?
Yes, I can forward it out to everybody. Yep.
Great.
Thank you.
Any other old business? Seeing none, let's go on to new business. And if I'm not mistaken, Annette had something for us there.
Yes, thank you. So as we, obviously our meeting night this month was changed to the first Thursday, and the Housing Commission has met on the third Thursday historically for over 20 years, I know for a fact, maybe close to 25. Beyond that, I don't know. But we had changed it this evening, and you all had obliged to that due to some of our technology challenges and use here at the city. When we host, essentially it's a webinar meeting using our Zoom. We are using our Zoom, iCompass, and YouTube, and we do have some limitations on our accounts and how many people can be using all this technology at the same time. On the third Thursday, historically, the Arts Commission has always met also right before us at 5:30, I believe technically is their meeting time. So we've met in the past, clearly, but it's caused a lot of, I would say, stress and a little struggle for us as staff, because if they're not done in time, we get backed up, and it's a really tight time frame for us to turn around the technology. So for that reason, you know, I had proposed, and I am proposing to you all that the year be set with the Housing Commission happening on the first Thursday of every month for the year 2021. I guess beyond that, we can figure that out at the time, but at least for the year 2021. And if the commission wants to have discussion about that, please do so now. And then I had asked, I think it would be best if this does meet with all of you, that you would then formalize it just so that we have that on record, maybe in a motion that for the year 2021, we would be meeting the first Thursday at 7 o'clock. Of course, if there's a holiday that comes in or some kind of scheduling conflict, as in the past, then we can always call a special meeting at a different time to work around those kinds of things, but we would regularly be scheduled the first Thursday. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
What time? Like 6:30 or something, or what?
Well, I had proposed 7 because we've always met at 7. If the commission as a whole wants a different time, I think we as staff can work with that. But I had proposed first Thursday at 7.
The East Lansing City Council, they meet twice a month. Is that right?
Every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday they meet.
I think
they
so.
typically meet every Tuesday at 7. They often, if there's a 5th Tuesday of the month, they don't meet on that Tuesday.
Okay, so it's not going to cause any issue with kind of the process between us and them if we were to change our meeting time, it sounds like, at all.
No, that will work. It'll be okay, yes.
I was just thinking, well, because I'm a sports fan and I go to a lot of basketball games, but not this year. That would also be an issue that I would have. I usually go to the Spartan games and stuff. So, yeah, so.
Well, this is Irene. I think I was the only one that actually had a problem with the meetings being at 7 on a Thursday, because I had another meeting that I was involved with. So I would prefer, if we stop doing Zooms and we go back in person, then we go back to Thursdays. I mean, go back to our regular day, Tuesday.
No, we're always been Thursday. We're just changing from the third Thursday.
No, I know that. Well, that's what I meant. Yeah.
To the first, yeah. But what about the time? I mean, Annette, are you, go ahead, Irene.
Oh, sorry, for Irene, I would prefer if it was earlier. That's why.
Yeah, me too, but
Tuesday and Thursday, because I'm up so early in the morning. But anyway, I'll go with the group. So but if it was 6:30,
I mean, I would want earlier too. but
yeah, I wouldn't mind earlier. See, the two VP candidates agree.
I was wondering, so do the Spartans play like first Thursdays or something?
Oh, it depends on their schedule. It's not like they play every Thursday, you know, but it's usually like Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or
Right.
Saturday or Sunday or something. So
yeah, we used to have tickets. It used to be like that. That's right. Mm-hmm.
I know for me, with my kids, sometimes their sports would end in a way where I could maybe see a sport or maybe help them with their practices and get to meetings by 7. But that's my comment as far as having earlier times.
Okay.
And
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm completely flexible, so I'll go with what you say, because I'm only, working a little part-time on my own schedule. So any night's okay with me. Any time's okay.
It doesn't matter to me. I'm flexible as well, but I would say that if Annette's asking for this and she thinks it works better for them and it's not going to impede their ability to actually, attend, I would make a motion to make the change for 2021. We can always revisit it, when things start opening up, if that might change things for people.
Right.
I agree. But my question is, Annette, if we move it to 6:30, like a half hour earlier, would that be a problem?
It is not a problem for us as staff.
Okay.
Is it better?
Personally, I'd be great with it. But
yeah, exactly. You should probably get off 5.
We might need to consider, taking care of our staff folks. 6:30 works fine for me. At this point, I'm taking a gap year from working for money. So
I would,
yeah.
Great. I would love it if it was 6:30.
6:30 is fine for me.
Yeah, I
can just jump in real quick, guys? Annette, so Zoom's available at that time?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, I checked.
Thank you.
All right, well, do I hear a motion? I feel like I'm hearing consensus.
I'll make the motion to approve to approve the change of the meeting time from the 3rd Thursday of the month to the 1st Thursday of the month, and to change the actual time from 7 to 6:30 p.m. on the 1st Thursday of the month.
Irene will second that. Thank you.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to move the Housing Commission meetings to the 1st Thursday of the month during 2021, and moving the time from 7 to 6:30 p.m. Do I have, let's do a roll call vote. Annette, would you do it? Call the roll, please.
Absolutely. Casey?
Aye.
Irene?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
And Larry?
Aye.
Thank you.
I do have a point of order or question. Unless this is a mistake, I thought I saw on the East Lansing city schedule that we are scheduled to meet on Wednesday, the 10th of February. And I'm just guessing that's a mistake.
Yeah, I didn't put that there. That's a mistake.
Okay. All right. All right.
Well, thank you for pointing it out, and I will double check that tomorrow. I'm gonna wonder if that was a test that was put in a year ago when we first started all this or something, but I will check. Thank you.
All right. So let's get it right. Great.
All right. Do we have any other? Another cameo appearance. Irene's dog. Hi, Irene's dog.
That's Benny.
Hi, Benny.
So cute.
He's wondering why he's not getting any attention.
I have no idea what that's like, Irene. So any other new business for us from anybody? All right, seeing and hearing none. Do we have a staff report, Annette?
Yes, and I will, first I'll defer to Dana if she has anything. I know historically I usually list out council member update if they have anything, and then myself. So, but in our new iCompass, I realized I forgot to do it that way. So I'll defer first to Dana if you have anything that you wanted to share with the commission, and I'll follow after you.
My only question was just, can you remind me how many vacancies we have?
Yes, 4. We have 4 vacancies at this time. And I thank you for bringing it up, because that was one of the things I was going to mention in my staff report, was if anybody knows anyone who's interested, certainly have them fill out an application online. That would be great.
That was my only question, and I'm trying to think how we can get some folks to apply. So thanks.
Great. Okay. And I did, Dana, I have 2 applications that one I've reached out to and haven't heard anything back. I'm going to try reaching out one more time in a different way. And then I have another one that I'm going to follow up on. It was someone who was interested in our commission and one other commission. So I was giving her some time to do her research. And so now I'll reach out and see if she's interested in ours. And then if so, I had mentioned to Casey, I'll get a hold of her and we can arrange an interview. So.
All right, great.
Then for my staff report, I just have a couple of quick things I'll share with you all in regards actually to the housing study. We had a brief meeting with Sharon, who you all met. Boy, the last few weeks are a blur, but it was before the holidays. And just for a kind of touch base, and she, you know, kind of explained to us where she's at and moving along. And I anticipate that pretty soon we may be at another point where she'll have some information that's preliminary, kind of like she did before, that we'll be able to kind of share with you all. So she is working away, and that will be more to come on that. And I know that earlier Irene had also mentioned, you know, gee, is there any way a study can be done to look at vacancies in houses, and then, you know, how do we convert maybe those unlicensed or licensed vacant properties to owner occupied? You know, I think in the study, and of course she was well underway in her study when the news came along that MSU would be changing their requirements for students to live on their freshman and sophomore years, not with this class, but with the upcoming fall class. And so, you know, she went into her study not thinking about that, but she said we'll be able to address a few things as she works her way through with that in mind. So, you know, we really did ask her to anything that she could do to incorporate that in some things for us to think about moving forward. And then we'll be watching, I know as staff, it's something we're watching closely to see what happens. COVID, of course, also complicates everything because our students going to sign leases next year, and we've been in touch with landlords to get a sense of that. You know, is it going to be a struggle for landlords? I will tell you, for houses, I'm not seeing it being, at least for next fall, a real big issue. If you go online, a lot of them have on there whether their house is available or not for fall. And if you can kind of tell even by going through them that at least for the bigger property managers that have an online presence, a lot of their houses are leased for next fall.
Okay.
I think in talking with landlords right now, my sense is that a little bit more of the gap and challenge is with some of the apartments. There are landlords who have said they are not at where they would normally expect to be in their leases for apartments for next year. So that might be the soft spot that we see first. But, you know, time will tell a little bit here.
And I had a question about that. Is that typically the case that houses, the demand for houses is stronger generally than for apartments?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would say in my years of experience, the entire, and I haven't always been in this job, but I've been in the area of housing for almost 25 years with the city now, and houses are the hottest market as far as renting up the fastest. And clearly those, like any real estate, right? Location, 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 those closest to campus go first and then onward. It ebbs and flows a little bit depending on what people are looking for, as with any housing, but it's always houses first. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up is, I think we had mentioned to you all in the past about the Chesterfield Hills. And again, this kind of ties in a little to what Irene had mentioned in converting licensed property to owner occupied property. We'll be working on a small, almost pilot type issue in the Chesterfield Hills area because we have some funds that were set aside from a development project that are to be used specifically in that neighborhood. And we're working with Capital Area Housing Partners at this time with their staff in kind of putting together hopefully kind of a package way of marketing and seeing if there's some, you know, interest, and some landlords might be interested in selling. And then if so, how we can make those homes marketable and financially marketable with some help to folks to buy them. And if they need some work to make them a little more conducive to family living, help with that. So working on that with CHP, and I anticipate that we're going to have some information to share with City Council yet later this month. And as we work through that, I certainly will share that information with you all too. So those were my main things. If anybody has any questions for me, housing, City of East Lansing, and I'm here, go ahead and ask.
Okay.
That's it for me.
All right, anybody have anything for either Dana or Annette? All right, well, unless there's an objection, I think we're ready to adjourn. Thanks everybody for carving out time in your Thursday to get together to do our civic duty. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'd say this meeting is adjourned.
Okay, stay well.
Bye, everybody. Stay well.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Annette.
Hey, you're welcome. Good to see you.
Good to see you. If I see you out on the trail, have you been out on the trail?
I haven't been on the trail, mostly because it's usually dark. Do you go out in the dark on the trail?
Yeah, I'm pretty reckless. I got a headlamp and my flashy vest, and I just try to like stay out of the ice. But I'm gonna fall on my butt someday. I know I will, but I'm just.
Yeah, I haven't. We've been going. I go over to campus a lot.
Yeah, those trails are better. They're safer.
Yeah, because I get a little nervous about falling, and I do have the headlamp, and I do have like spiky things to put on my shoes for when it's icy. So when we're here in town, I've been going to campus, and then we spend some time up north, and when I'm up there, I just run on the side of the road. But it's not a super busy road, so it's fine. But yeah, so I'm trying to keep at it, and I thought of you. I'm trying to get past my 6 miles.
Oh, you know, it's the longer I go, the more I'm like, it's a double-edged sword. Like, I don't know, if I do 8, like if I do more than 8, like 8's my point right now. if I do more than that, like I don't know if it's worth it. Like you know,
Get
I don't know,
achy and it takes a lot of time.
I pay for it in other ways, like throughout the week.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like 6 is totally respectable.
I'm pretty happy with it. I may make it a goal to go a little farther for a little while here and then back off again. So.
All right.
All right.
Well, stay safe, both of you.
Thank you. You too.
You too, Casey. See ya.
All right.
Stay
Thanks.
well.
Good night.
Night.
Are we good?
We are good, Des. So
I'm gonna end it in Zoom then, or
okay.
On YouTube. I'm gonna hit end stream. Okay, so we quit that one. Do you want me to end this one?